What is going on, everybody? It is me, the Viking Weep, and we're back at it again. First off, shout out to everyone that has liked, subscribed, commented. Um, we hit a we hit 1,000. We hit 1K followers. This is really big news for me. I'm just doing this for fun. I enjoy doing this. This is a good hobby of mine. I like it. But I'm extremely thankful that other people enjoy this as well. So I'm going to set the next milestone at 5K. If we hit 5K subs, I think I'm going to do a little something special for all of you. I really appreciate you for giving me a shot, giving me a try. Let me try to bring you a little joy in this world that we have today. Without further ado, let me go ahead and get into that song of the week. So, song of the week is going to be Terrible Lie by 9 Inch Nails. Now, if you don't know anything about 9 Inch Nails, they're an older band. They're from like the early 90s, right? Trent Reznor's the lead singer. I believe they started out of Ohio. I went to high school with Trent Reznor. I understand why he doesn't claim where he's from. I didn't like it either. It's not my cup of tea. Good for him for getting out of Pennsylvania. Good for him for leaving and running across the border to Ohio. Not exactly where I would have went, but hey, good for you, Trent. Keep it up, man. I never got to personally meet you, especially since you became quite popular while I was still in school. But I knew of you. I've seen you at houses and places since you've been, or at least the last time you've been back, I think. But shout out, 9 Inch Nails, Terrible Lie. That is the song of the week. Just a little backdrop lore there. So I'm going to get into a few different talking points for this episode. For starters, let me get through our gaming news and our anime news, and then we can get into our meat and potatoes. So for gaming news, Sparkling Zero, which it's not sparkling, by the way. I don't know who keeps calling it sparkling. It's probably me. It's Sparking. Sparking Zero just came out. It is a wonderful game. I've heard a lot of bad things on the internet, and I don't really like any of their opinions. This is a great game. If you've played other Dragon Ball Z games, especially the older ones, this game feels great. It's got a lot of different shout outs to older content. It's got a whole bunch of characters. The roster is just massive, and they're going to keep adding. So, like, I can't even be upset. They're going to keep adding, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that a lot. So we'll see. As of right now, there's a lot of pluses, and I don't want to go too in depth because I don't want to rate it, 1 through 10. That's going to be, I have to actually do a 1 through 10 rating, Just talking about it out loud, I've noticed a lot of things that I really enjoyed about it. Specifically, they're doing what Dragon Ball intended to do back in mid Z era. Gohan is just so cool, man. Now, if you like Dragon Ball Z, right, and you thought that Gohan was the next Goku, this game's for you, man. This game's for you. Go play it. Go give it a try. It's excellent. I love the content. I love how fun it is. It does get repetitive. There are a few things that are annoying about the game. As far as I know, a lot of people are talking about it's hard, right? That's the big thing on the internet right now. Sparking Zero is hard against the CPU. My my hypothesis is people jump into a game expecting to be good at it. But there are a lot of games out there. You have to go into training. You have to learn the game. If you're not going to sit there and duke it out with your best friend for 2 hours trying to perfect a parry, then at bare minimum go into training and let Piccolo train you. You know what I mean? Like go give training a shot. You can't jump into a game and be like, "Why can't I beat this dude?" All right, look, I get it. It is hard. But the big fights that I heard of right off the get that were the hardest were the Vegeta fight and the Piccolo fights. And I have no issues. I think I've gotten them all within my first 5 tries. They're not hard. Like all it is, truly, when in doubt, go into sparking mode. Just figure out how to get. And if you don't know how to get into sparking mode, because you're being rushed, you have to find a way to strategize to knock your opponent back. I mean, just think about it. If you need room to power up, make room. And if you can't make room by distancing yourself, then make room by pushing your opponent back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's only 2 options that are logical, and everyone's like, well, I just can't get it off. All right. I hear your frustration. But if I could do it, and I'm not great at video games by any means. I used to be. I'm on my decline. You can too. You can too. There's so many people that have better hand-eye coordination than me, for sure. So you can too. I don't want to spend too much time on Sparking Zero because once again, I will be reviewing this game. So check it out. It will be in future content. Most likely, it'll be sometime in November. Because October is very, very, very dedicated to horror and psychological thriller, drama, you name it. But we are sticking with the Hallowed Be Thy Ween theme. So, with that being said, I'm going to move on to our second topic, Zoophobia. Zoophobia looks cool. I also will be doing a 1 through 10 on this. But I wanted to talk about it. Why does this game feel like an animal version of Skinwalkers? I enjoy the idea of this game. I'd like to see this game and different concepts of this game throughout my gaming career. I think it looks cool. I think it looks really good. I feel like Zoophobia is going to be a slept-on horror game. Kind of like Sons of the Forest and The Forest. They were very slept on until they got the popularity that they deserved, that they started advertising more. You were starting to see more on them. I mean, logically, when Sons of the Forest was announced, The Forest started getting a lot of playthroughs. A lot of people started joining in on it. It was good. It was fun. I feel like Zoophobia will be the same way. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a niche game for those who enjoy the horror and dystopian style that it breathes. But in addition to that, if it ever gets a sequel or a second game or DLC, that's when we'll see the base game really shine. So, just food for thought here. Moving on. All right, let's go to anime news. So, something big happened since we last spoke. Dun 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 got released. Now, it's on Netflix, right? But it is a good anime. I'm going to go ahead and give you that 1 through 10 now. I feel like it deserves a 1 through 10. I don't want to sleep on it. I was one of those people that I saw it and I was like, all right, before this becomes mainstream, before. I want to have said that I'm a fan. You know, if you've tuned into other podcasts before, you'll know I don't like mainstream stuff. I hate it. I'll avoid mainstream stuff. But if I start it before it becomes mainstream, like Demon Slayer, I was reading Demon Slayer before they released the show. I watched season 1, and I thought it was so good. And all of a sudden, season 2 gets announced, and everyone had Demon Slayer everything. I couldn't tell you how many times I saw a black and green checkered pattern everywhere. I was a real niche, I still am, niche anime content enjoyer, which is why I dislike when things become mainstream. So, for the record, I liked Dun 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 before it got the love that it very rightfully deserves, by the way. I'm not by any means saying it shouldn't be popular. I'm just saying there are a lot of people out there that they just follow the trends because they're trends. I'm watching this because I like it. I'm watching this because I like it, and it's good. It's really good. So, for the people that don't watch anime, the premise of Dan 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 is it's basically a girl that is like borderline a delinquent, high school, right? Borderline a delinquent. She is just this really strong, really independent girl. She wants a man that is like this action star hero who's like, you know, those little romantic novels that maybe your grandma read back in the day, you know, the ones with the picture of the dude riding the horse with the girl on the back of it, and he's shredded. He looks like a combination of Arnold Schwarzenegger meets, I don't know, Brad Pitt from Troy. Like, yeah, that. She wants that. She wants someone super strong, super reliable, super cool. And she sees these bullies picking on this boy who's like a super nerd. Super nerd. And all he does is sit there and he reads his alien like tabloids. Like, I married an alien, and the US is hiding secrets of alien landings across all of America and all this fun stuff. And it's super funny because she sticks up for him, right? She sticks for him, and he's like, "Wow, this girl's amazing. She's the closest thing I've ever had to a friend." And so they start to grow this friendship, but it's not because she stuck up for him. And without further divulging, there are spoilers ahead. So instead of dropping them, what I will do is I will try to go around the spoilers while giving you a real rating. So, all in all, episode 1, the way it played out, the way it was, the way the friendship sparked, the way it was kind of continued, and the ending brought it all together. And that's, I think, why I enjoyed the first episode so much. Episode 1 ended in the same breath that it began, which is why it was so cool. And no, not visually in the same breath. I'm talking mentally in the same breath, which was super cool. So if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, and this sounds like a cool concept, please go check it out. Don Don Don. It's on Netflix. It's really good. And please do me a favor. Please. And you don't even have to do it for me. Do it for you. Watch the intro. At bare minimum, if you're going to watch an anime, you have to watch the intro once. If the intro switches and the song's different, you have to stop. You can't skip it. You have to watch every intro and every outro at least once. Me and my wife, we talk about that quite a lot. She likes to skip the intros. I like to watch them every time. So we've gotten to the point where at bare minimum, we've watched it once. The intro's great. The intro is great. I don't know what was going on for the past like 5 or 6 years with anime, but it seems like this year, specifically this fall, I want to say, is starting everything good again. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like we've been watching like teenage drama anime, and we're finally getting back into like the same era as like One Piece, Naruto. Like, it's just the vibe is back. And that's all based off of like 4 new anime that are dropping, I believe, at the end of this year, to include Don Don Don, which has already dropped. So just be on the lookout for stuff like that. If you see that it's getting popular, maybe go check it out before it becomes mainstream. I will be doing the same, but I digress. Episode 1 was great. It ended amazing. Episode 2, I could tell episode 2 was a filler episode, but it was a filler episode that you had to see because, yes, did anything really progress main story-wise? No, but we learned a lot. And in my opinion, that's not filler. If you learn a lot and you figure things out, that's not a filler episode. Even though it might not necessarily push, right? the main objective of the story, or it might not push the questions you want to get answered. It's still a great story. You still get a lot of information out of it. I really enjoy it. Episode 2, by far, took episode 1 and it ran with it. It wasn't a decrease. It wasn't less. It wasn't more. It was good. It was perfect. I enjoyed it a lot. Overall, for episode 1, I'm going to give it an 8.6. Episode 2, I will be giving an 8.4. Both of which were really, really good. Like I said, it took episode 1 and it really just ran with it. If you want a synopsis of why I rated them the way I did, you can ask me in the comments and I can explain it better. But I will not be doing it as of right now. We have a lot more to get to. But Dun 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 episodes 1 and 2, if you haven't watched them, go check them out. They're on Netflix. Really good. It is a week by week, so if you just need something to, get a little here and there when you can, or something to look forward to week by week, that is it. Definitely a good one. I also, now this isn't going to be anime news, this is just regular TV. I have started the series called From. It's on MGM Plus. I know you could do a subscription through Amazon and stuff like that. I don't even know how much it is, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you to get it. But anyway, if you have seen From, which it's been out a little bit, it's pretty good. I finished season 1 today. I've been watching it for about a week, and I'm going to give my honest review of it. But first, let me give a synopsis in case you haven't seen it yet, and I will go from there and not give spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry. You can stay. You don't have to skip. So, for starters, the synopsis of it is, we're kind of following this family, and they show up in this town. And no matter how hard they do to get out of this town, they drive out of this town, they try going in the opposite direction, the direction they came, they keep on coming back to this town. And when they finally stop and get explained, they say, oh, yeah, well, during your trip here, did you see a large tree that was just blocking the road? And you do see this in the episode, like very, very, very beginning, but you don't know yet that like was symbolic or anything. They say, yes, we did see a large tree. And they're like, all right, cool. Yeah, so you're stuck here like us. It's like a little pocket dimension or something. There's no way out. We've tried walking. We've tried driving. No matter what we do, we can't leave. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is there are these things in the woods. They kind of describe them as skinwalkers, but they don't have an appearance of anybody that, like, they seem like they know. However, I feel like, and I'll theorize later, that there is people that they do look like. So, there's these people in the woods, they come out, they walk everywhere, they don't run, and they basically hunt you down, and they kill you. I mean, they eat you from the inside, they strip your bones of flesh. And the one big thing that they do that they said, which will once again go into my theory later, they rip your face off. So they'll eat your insides, strip your bones, and they take your face. All right. See where my theory might be going? So anyway, let's move forward. So they say this, the family doesn't really believe them. Mind you, it's a husband, a wife, a young boy, and like a teenage, I just found my rebellious streak daughter, right? And it's super cool. I love the concept because I'm a very big horror limited series or just horror TV series. I don't like when they mix too much drama in, and they don't do a lot of drama in this. They do a lot of action. They also do a lot of mystery, and I do enjoy the thrilling aspect of constantly having a new question. It reminds me a lot of Attack on Titan, to be honest with you, where like when they answer a question, they give you 2 more. It's kind of like that. Finish season 1. Once again, no spoilers. Overall, season 1's going to get a 9.1 from me. I had to skip one episode. I don't know why, but I had to skip one. I think I just fell asleep during it, something like that. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, that must mean you didn't like it. No, 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 no. I wasn't gonna force my wife to rewatch it, and I did not have the time to go back and watch it myself. But the recap in the next episode literally recapped the whole episode, so I wasn't upset. I wasn't about to go back and watch it. I was like, oh wow, nothing happened last episode. That's fine. But yeah, it was a great, great series. I stick with that rating. That is pretty accurate. I just started season 2. Now I know they're still making week by week season 3, so we'll see how that pans out. But I will continue watching, and I will update you most likely next week on season 2, or at least my progress through season 2. But I don't want to give too much details away because then you can start piecing together the story. And I really, really, really enjoyed figuring out the main plots of the story myself. Obviously, it's a how do we get out of here? How do we survive here? What do we do type situation, right? But there are just a lot of isms in there that you wouldn't expect. So I'd like to leave that to the viewers to find themselves. So I won't divulge any more on that. That is TV. So let's get into our talking corner here. Normally, I'd activate the PowerPoint, but I'm not really doing PowerPoints anymore. I don't feel like it's visually appeasing, especially if you're tuning in today and you're not watching, you're listening. So let me go ahead and narratively go through everything versus flip. If you did want to watch the video, though, you can watch my little VTuber move around, which, speaking of, this will be the last edition of my VTuber. I've made a lot more, and I will bring them out for different events and stuff like that, but this is the last main one. This is the closest thing I could find to a anime punk rock Viking. And I know I look hella whatever you want to call me, whatever vibes you get, but hey, I think I look cool. You know, I got the fucking Converse, they didn't have Vans. I got the black slacks. I couldn't find the Jenkos. They didn't have them. But these have chains, so like, hey, we're cool. And I found this really cool, you know, like, it would look like a bear skin hoodie. I'm sorry my chesticles are showing, you know, but hey, look. I think it looks cool. And then I got this midnight purple hair. You know, I almost have purple hair in real life. It's really just black. I have a beard. You know, believe it or not, anime characters with beards don't look good, so I just won't put one on my avatar ever. In fact, at some point, you will see me as a girl. Okay? I'm just going to let y'all know now. I will have a girl VTuber. But once again, different events, different avatars, and this is the last main one you'll see. I'll just change the outfit here every now and again. But this is the last actual avatar. So now that I've touched on that, I can move on to the actual talking corner. So today's topic is horror movies that need a sequel or to be revived. Okay, so there are a lot of horror movies out there that are already getting these, okay? But I'm going to stand firm and I'm going to say Predator. Okay? I know what you're all thinking. Predators got prey. They already got something. Yes, I hear you. But I'm not talking Predators from the series, right? I don't even want to touch on Alien or Predator necessarily individually. Let me take a step back. I want to see an AVP remake. Alien versus Predator. The first Alien versus Predator, I don't care who you are. I gave that movie a 9.5. Easy. Great movie. The cinematography was great. They have one of the longest, coolest running shots ever filmed. The story was there. The main character actually was a main character from the start. You could tell. She was a badass. And she put people in their place. It was one of the very few Alien versus Predator, or just anything from either universe, that you really felt like the main character had to either win or die trying. Like there wasn't another option. Like it couldn't be like a measly. All right, this happened at the end. No, no, no. The ending, and which by the way, there are spoilers. If you haven't seen this, that's on you. This movie's been out for like 20 years. The fact that she was given by the chieftain of the Yuja population, or the Yautja, however you want to say it. All right, however you want to say it. There's multiple sayings. The fact that their chief, their war chief, gave her that staff means he acknowledged her as an equal hunter. That's crazy. That means he views her better than most of his own kin. And he's also very respectful because she helped. I forget his actual name. Is that Scar? Is Scar the one with the mark on him? I don't know. A lot of the Yautja do have actual names, and the big ones have the coolest names, right? The ones that we know for sure. The one from the Alien vs. Predator series, he does unfortunately die, but he dies because he does get hit with one of them face huggers. Now, you see that midway through the movie. Great cinematography, great idea, by the way, for him to get hit, and you don't even know for sure if he, like, killed it or not, or what. But he does get hit with the face hugger, and I guess out of frustration, he kills it. And he just kind of goes moving on. And he fights with that thing trying to get out of him for the whole movie until the very end. And then when he's finally, like, killed in action, right, and then he's taken back on the ship to have his, like, funeral, you know, that's where it comes out. And it's a Predator or a Yautja alien hybrid, which is super cool, which is where AVP Requiem comes out. Requiem was terrible. Main character, trash. Storyline, great. Written very well. But you tell me a band of misfits and the military killed this top tier fucking Yautja thing? I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works. By the way, these small pauses, I'm drinking coffee. Specifically, it's a cinnamon French toast coffee. Once again, I'm bougie. We know I'm bougie when it comes to coffee. With that being said, I feel like AVP needs a remake. At bare minimum, we need a sequel that does better than Requiem. At bare minimum. We need something that stands out from Requiem, something to bring it back. Because Alien is making progress, positive progress, with the entire series. First of all, the Prometheus series. But also, you have Romulus now. Also really good. So, we got Prey from Predator. They're talking about doing another one. I really want to see them do another AVP with the modern style of storylines they've been doing. I enjoy it a lot. Once again, there are a lot of other horror movies that do need a remake, and they already have. Actually, believe it or not, Beetlejuice was on my list. It was, but we already got that. I would really enjoy, and I know we already got Wednesday, but I would enjoy seeing a remake of The Addams Family. Not the show, a movie. I'd like to see a remake of that. I feel like it'd be really good. Another one I'd really enjoy seeing is, oddly enough, okay, and judge me if you will, but I really want to see another Freddy versus Jason. I know, you know what? These collabs are going to keep coming. We need them. The collabs are great. I think another Freddy versus Jason would just be so good. Because I don't know about you. I don't know what generation my listeners are necessarily from. But my generation, the very, very early millennials, we were like the start of, I don't even want to say raunchy horror, but just weird horror. Like, everything could be considered great. Like, House of a Thousand Corpses, you could show that to a Gen Z today, and they'd be like, this is terrible. Maybe not, but like most of them, in my opinion, be like, nah, this is terrible. This is bad. Okay, I thought that was great. I thought it was great. House of Wax, great. Freddy versus like the B grade horror movies that came out when I was younger, they were all great. I'd like to see another Trick or Treat movie. Trick or Treat was top tier, and it will always be top tier. Great Halloween movie. When I was younger, it had like no, it had nothing. Like you couldn't find anything on Trick or Treat. You could probably barely find that movie, to be honest with you. It was so hard to find. And now it's almost mainstream. Like I swear to God, in the next couple of years, Trick or Treat will be one of them things where it's like you see all the mains, right? You see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you see Nightmare on Elm Street, you see Friday the 13th, you see Halloween, you see Trick or Treat. And it's like, whoa, he was never there. You know, you see Beetlejuice. Like, you know, you don't normally see those as a mainstream Halloween content. Now, when it comes to Halloween content, by the way, I don't give a shit about mainstream content. I don't give a shit. Because I am an autumn, for real. Not just a meme, you know? So I feel like another collab. And we could do a collab with any of them, right? Like we already had Freddy versus Jason. Let's do Michael versus Leatherface. You know? Like we could do more. There's so much more we could do. It doesn't have to be an actual remake. We could just do something with the same vibe. I feel like that's just as good. Just as good. Look, I'm an idea machine. I'll give some ideas, and I won't take any credit. I don't care. Let's see. I know there's a few others I had on my list here, and that's why I have a whole list of talking points. So let me go through it here. You know, okay, one of the movies I hate a lot is The Descent. And I don't hate it in a bad way. I hate it because it actually scared me, like legitimately. I feel like The Descent, right? 1 and 2. I know we got The Last Descent, which I don't think is technically the third, but it is the same universe. I want to see another Descent movie. At bare minimum, like a remake of the first one. I feel like that'd be great. As Above, So Below's on my list. It's also one of my favorite movies of all time. I know it's fairly new still, right? Does it need a part 2? No. I feel like if they made a second one, it would ruin the movie itself. If they remade it, it's still too soon to remake it. It's still new, but it's on my list because the actress that they had as the main character was probably the worst choice they could have picked. The writing for the dialogue that she would have in that movie was terrible. Asking someone if they're okay when they're obviously on their back wincing in pain or having a seizure is probably the dumbest thing you could write. Come on. Use your brain, writers. If someone's physically on the ground, seizing up, asking them if they're okay is like asking a freezing cold person if they're cold. I could tell there's icicles in your beard, man. You cold? Yeah, I'm fucking cold. Shut up. See what I mean? It sounds stupid. Yeah, it sounds very, very stupid. I've been waiting for a very long time to get a Dante's Inferno. I know we had an animated Dante's Inferno, but I would very much so, enjoy getting a real remake of Dante's Inferno. I think we deserve it. Truly. I say that because not only was Dante's Inferno one of the coolest games to play when you were an angsty, edgy teenager, but first of all, the comic, top tier. Second of all, the animation and the writing and the voice acting, top tier. I'd love to see this. I would love to see this big screen with the same graphics they did with Clash of the Titans. Dante's Inferno meets Clash of the Titans would be so good. It would be so good. This is what people need to be doing. We need to be working on this. I'm so happy I have this on my list. So happy I thought of that. Okay. This isn't a remake or necessarily something that needs to be jump started, but I did have on my list make a lore accurate Ghost Rider. So I know we already have Ghost Rider 1 and 2, right? Whatever. I don't care. Make an alternate Ghost Rider, like, you know how they do like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe? Let's do one of them. Let's do one of them for the both comics where the what ifs, right? Let's do a Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Let's do one of them. I think, first of all, that comic was great. Second, it would be so good. And you don't even need to do it live action. Make an animated series, man. That'd be great. Same thing with Ghost Rider. Well, I could survive off an anime series for that. I think also Teen Titans. I know that Teen Titans didn't survive the last time we did a live action, but I feel like if we do it right, it could. So Teen Titans is going on my list as well for things that need to be done or brought back. I would really, really, really enjoy seeing a lore accurate Pokemon. And I know a lot of people are like, hey, we've already had Pokemon. We've had 30 years of Pokemon movies and TV. You're right. You're right. There is a comic out there right now that is lore accurate, though, of red and green and blue. Now, if you know what I just said, and you know they're not colors, and you know their names, then I fuck with you. But if you don't, let me give you a quick little lore drop. So Ash Ketchum is based off the main character of Pokemon, whose real name is Red. So whenever you load up Pokemon, right, and it asks you what name you want to be, you know how one of them is always red? Okay. If you didn't, now you know. In yellow version and red version, it asks you if your name's Red or if you want to like put your name in. Cool. Blue version, blue. Green version, for those of you that were super nerdy like myself and made sure you got a copy of the green version that released in Japan exclusively, you can name yourself Green. Now, I believe in green version you still looked like the little character Ash Ketchum, but I think there is a way to mod it so you look like Gary, who's actually green. Okay? So Gary was based off green, right? Ash was based off red, fire, makes Ash. Okay, they didn't want to. I don't know why they didn't want to take that. And then blue is a girl, right? So there's a comic being made. I'm pretty sure it's still actively being made of Red and Green's journey, not only in Pokemon but through rivalry, and how blue is kind of this like bridging the gap piece between them and the rivalry / friendship. Super cool. It's very graphic for Pokemon, and no, not the fan service graphic. I'm talking like Pokemon die in these tournaments. And some of their trainers even get hurt in like the backblast of some of these fights. So it's very lore accurate. Like if Electrode uses self-destruct, right? That Electrode's dead. He's not coming back. His trainer probably got hurt. And if that Electrode used like a tackle and, then hit the self-destruct, you might have killed their trainer too. You see what I'm saying? So it's very lore accurate. If you can't find it, you can try Manga Go. That is one of the apps I know that is out there in the world today that you can use. I know it's probably on there. Me personally, I never reveal my source because I want my source to keep working. But I know Manga Go is a good place where you can go for everything manga related. But with that being said, yeah, I feel like those are the really, really good ones. I know I leaned more towards into horror in the beginning and Halloween style, but that's just where my brain's at. I just wanted to put everything I got there on the list. I do also think Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs a remake in that same breath of Pokemon. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Really needs a remake. I feel like it could be really, really good. I don't want to lose the voice actor of the Pharaoh. I feel like if I can't have him, it can't be done. Period. Period. And I'm going to end with Berserk, but I'm only ending with Berserk because Studio Clips did come out and say, we don't care if we're getting sued. We're going to take our stuff off the internet, but we are not stopping. We're going to become a legitimate studio, and then we'll push forward. Because I guess all the speculation behind Studio Eclipse making Berserk was they didn't get permission because they didn't have the rights to do it. And I guess fans can't just make something, take credit for doing something. You have to be a whole ass studio. So that's what they're doing. They pulled everything back. They're becoming a studio, and they'll push it back out as soon as they're able to do so. So no worries if you're one of those people spreading misinformation about Berserk's no longer getting that remake. Shut up. It is coming out. We will still get it. And I promise you, if I hear anything different, I will update you here. I get notifications anytime anything with that happens. So don't worry. I'll let you know. All right. So the last little thing I got here for my talking points today, I want to give you a very, very real rating of a new keyboard I bought. So I originally bought this for work. I had bought another one as well for like home use, but I wanted to test this one out, make sure it was going to be okay for work. I had to look up. I did a lot of Googling because I wanted to make sure my computer's at work. I can't have downloadable software. I can't have anything Bluetooth. It basically just needs to be you plug it in. It's a keyboard. That's it. That's what it needs to be. It can't come with its own stuff. It has to be like just a standalone wired keyboard. So I found one. But I, being the niche and weird person I am, I want to have a very creamy and thocky keyboard. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a ASMR keyboard at work to keep me from going insane from the clickety-clackities I hear all around me. So, and not to be confused with people talking. People be smashing them keys, me included. So I want to have something that's very pleasing to hear. So I bought the RK Gaming Royal Kludge R65, and I'll be reviewing that today and giving my honest opinion. I'm currently using it now. I'm not going to type on it. I've already done all the typing I need, and I don't think... Yeah, I don't think I heard that through there. I don't think if I type... I think my mic's too good. I don't know why. I turned my gain up all the way. I would have to take a lot of layering off my mic for you to be here and able to hear me typing on this keyboard. But I'm going to give you my real rating. So if you want to go online right now and look up the RK Gaming RK Kludge R65 wired keyboard, okay? It's very simple, but if you want to look for something that is a creamy keyboard, fresh out the box, because most creamy and thocky keyboards that you buy out there, you have to put together yourself. It's kind of like building a computer. You can get a good one pre-built, you can, but for the best result, you need to make one. So I ordered one that I could make myself for me, because I want to make it very, very... I want it to sound like I'm typing in milk. Me and the keyboard in milk. So, I tried to find one that was the closest thing you can get to being the best out the box. Saw the price, I turned around. But I found one. The best one I could find for the price is this one right here. The R65 by RK Gaming. It's the RK Kludge. Or Royal Kludge, sorry. Royal Kludge R65. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best you could probably buy fresh out of the box. Each key is very auditory pleasant. It has a little knob in the top right to adjust that volume. It's got that FN key, so you can do really quick hot swaps and really quick keys. It's also hop swap key. You can take stuff off here. It's got that little ergonomic feel to it, so all the keys are big, but they're indented, and they kind of have that curve to them as well. They're all visually pleasing. They do have the RBG blacklit or backlit, but the keys themselves, like the actual letters, don't glow. That's fine. I don't work in the dark. But for those of you that would want to use it for like your at home office, or maybe you want to use it for your office and you do work in the dark for some reason, I would get one that is backlit a little bit better. I know they do have options over at Royal Kludge and Arcade Gaming to have the keys actually light up so you can see what you're typing. But once again, I don't do it in the dark. So overall, that FN key is your master key. You can I'm trying to use it right now. You could use it to type basically. You can change the backlighting. You can also filter through a lot of I almost said hotkeys and shortcuts at the same time. I don't know what word was going to come out. Hot shuts, I think is what I was about to say. I don't know. That would have been strange. But yeah, give it I mean, I would honestly, if I were you, if you were looking for a creamy keyboard to use at home or even at work, make sure you get it wired. I know wireless keyboards at work are just, they're not great. And it's not even because like maybe different companies don't let you use a wireless keyboard. I think quite the opposite. I feel like most companies wouldn't even care. I prefer wired everything because that's just one less thing I have to charge. It's one less thing I have to think about. And cable management has never been an issue for me. Maybe it is for some people. Maybe that's why everyone's going wireless. But I prefer to like just plug and play. You know what I mean? Especially if everything wireless is going to have that little bit of lag time. Now, don't get me wrong. That sounds like a gaming thing, right? Like, wow, lag time. Nah, because if you have a slow computer at work and you plug in a keyboard that's also have a little lag time to it, you're going to notice you're going to type and the letter will be in front of where you're actually typing. And it's strange. It's weird. Don't do it to yourself, especially if you have a slow internet connection at work. We all know most companies around the world don't provide the best internet in the whole wide world. You can always have better at your house. So whatever it is, however it's doing at your house, just imagine it being a little bit worse at home. And that's for everything Bluetooth and Wi-Fi related. So moving forward, when I was typing on it, very auditory pleasing. If you go look it up on YouTube, I know you're on YouTube now. You shouldn't, have to go somewhere else. But once again, my mic's too good. It's not going to pick this up. So I'm just giving you my overall rating, 1 through 10. I'm going to give this for your money. Okay, for your money, and for the sound, this is going to get a solid 8.7. Absolutely worth the money. I think the nicer end ones are around $60. The lower tier ones, which is the one that I got, is $45. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. I'll be jamming with this at work. I do have the 65, so I don't have the number keys on the right. It ends with delete page up and page down and my arrow keys. So everything to the right of that whole little number pad, I don't have. But I don't deal with numbers every day that much, so that's okay for me. If that's not okay for you, I'm pretty sure the R75 or the R85 should be fine. They also have R100s. So I just got a smaller size because I don't need something large, and the more space I can save at work, the better. Cubicle life. So yeah, that's just me. But once again, I do believe that is absolutely worth the money. Sounds great, looks great. It's very sleek, very smooth, and it does have that creamy feel. Do not feel like you have to build your own keyboard. You can absolutely just buy one fresh out of the box and be just up to the standards, if not exceeding those standards. Everyone loves a good mechanical keyboard, but at the end of the day, we're very auditory and visual beings. If it looks good and sounds good, we're usually pretty happy with that. So don't forget to try or at least tell me what you think. If you do have something better, there are some honorable mentions. I know the F75 from Ola, I think it is, Aula. I know they're really good. Maybe it's the A99. Very cool, very sleek looking. That is wireless. I wouldn't recommend that for work, but for home use, yeah, that looks great. It didn't sound as good as this one. It sounds a little bit more mechanical, almost like a half and half. This one sounds like I am typing in milk. So that is what I want. The one that I did buy, which was a pre-order, it is a Epo Maker Lebog 75, or sorry, High 75. I got the astronaut one. That one sounds like you are literally typing in milk. You and the keyboard, exactly what I wanted. This one that I have now, the R65, it is as close as you can get. I would say this is creamy. I would call that R75, or not R75, sorry, the High 75 by Lebog and Epo Maker. I would say that is a creamy and thocky sound versus this is more like a creamy, milky sound. Think of like a smooth feel versus that one is just this one sounds like if I were to type on it, it sounds like building Legos and Lego Star Wars. That's what this sounds like. And the Lebog High 75 sounds like if you were to stick a keyboard in milk and it floats, but the milk would just like slightly flow between the keys and you start typing. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It's great. I'm ready. I'm ready to try it. I don't know when it's going to get here, but when it does get here, I will give that a review as well, which I like I said, I'm probably going to end up giving it a really high review. But that is all I have there for the Talking Corner. Up next is our upcoming content. So for the rest of October, do expect more solo and co-op horror demos. Expect to see more game ratings of small little stuff like that. You can also expect to see our review of Dun 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 Episode 3. Some spooky books by chance for any of you on Book Talk or anything like that. I will get that information from my wife and pass it along because she is the bookworm out of the two of us. And then also we will be going through and trying different city builders and little sim cottagecore games like that. So we will come up with a little list, give you a little rating, and we will go from there. So that's what you can expect in the future, but all that content you can expect after Hallowed Be Thy Win season. Don't forget, October is strictly horror and spooky season content. So for the rest of the stuff here, as far as the city builders, we will pass that stuff along probably early November. But everything else for next week's topic, episode 3, spooky books, maybe some more horror style games or maybe some horror movies that need a reboot, something like that. We'll dive into whatever we can. Thank you for tuning in today. It has been an absolute pleasure. This has been the Gentlest of Men podcast, episode 6. I am the Viking Weeb. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are today. Good morning, good night. You on your commute to work. Get there safe, be well, be safe, and I will talk to you again in the next one. And as always, good night.